Welcome to our first episode of our new series about Let's Integrate SAP with Microsoft. Today I'm joined by Martin from Microsoft, and we want to shed a light in the world of SAP and why this is important to you as a Microsoft integration developer. Hi Martin, how are you?
Hi, Sebastian. Yeah. Nice to be here.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for being our guest today. And for those who don't know you, who are you and what are you doing at Microsoft?
I'm part of a team of product managers at Microsoft who work with SAP as our integration partner. That's across all our products in our ecosystem, but it also involves working on some of the standards and mutual products. So that's why I'm faced with this challenge on a daily basis, be it systems, be it protocols, be it interfaces. Yeah, so it's like a topic dear to my heart.
Sounds great. So thanks again for being guest today. So and we talked a lot about SAP in the past and the integration journey from Microsoft, or the product journey from Microsoft regarding logic apps and so on. But we also want to give some insights into the new SAP world, because it's becoming more complex with all these new programs and so on. But we want to also highlight in the future episodes what to do to integrate SAP systems. And in the past, so I'm doing a lot of integrations against SAP in the past. So since 2008, I'm working with BizDoc Server, and we are doing a lot of integrations in the direction of SAP. And in the past, there's we used IDOC, for example, or files, CSV files, or JSON files. So I think this could be the foundation for the future as well, right?
And that's true, yeah, and that's also what we want to have people take away from today, right?
Yeah.
To understand a bit the vocabulary and a lens to look at this integration space across the different domains, so that you have like a red thread that can guide you towards when you make your own decisions for your integration projects, what to look out for, etc. And you just picked on the interchange format, so to say, what to choose there and what was relevant in the past.
Okay, so I think we can switch over to my whiteboard here, and maybe then we can do some more explanation on this when we are doing, or when we discuss all the integration possibilities and what you say, the transfer or the interchange format and so on. And I think we can start with this foundation. So let's put us IDOC, let file, and also JSON as a starting point here. So this is
exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
And at some point when the web services were on the rise, it looked like as if JSON would maybe become the dominant format of such message formats. But for some reason, XML like creeps in all the time in SAP projects.
Absolutely.
Yeah, probably due to the like history and long-running stable integrations. So we see this distribution, but XML is like still the dominant file interchange format.
Yeah. So absolutely. So when we say IDOC here, it means it is XML and also the flat file format of an IDOC. But I know the XML or the IDOC XML is horrible. The flat file is even more horrible of this format.
How so?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is crazy, the flat file format of an IDOC. So I'm happy when I can work with the IDOC in an XML format. So it's much more easier to read. As we said, there's a changing thing in the SAP world. So when we look back to the past, we have the R3 system or the ECC system. But nowadays, they are talking about the cloud journey of SAP and the RISE program and also the GROW program. So maybe, Martin, can you explain what is the difference of such or of such programs, and why it is important for us as a Microsoft integration developer. So I will point it out here. So we have RISE. And we have the GROW program of SAP. Oh, I will write it uppercase.
Easier to read, yeah. Well, those are terms that SAP uses in market to describe certain type of offering. And RISE refers to their private edition of their S/4HANA cloud stack, so the modern ERP instance, so to say. And that's the first managed offering, which is more infrastructure based, but already gives you parts where SAP manages your SAP workload for. GROW, on the other hand, is a true SaaS service running on multi-tenant infrastructure, where you have like a true subscription service where everything is completely managed and you only look at the application layer. Fully internet facing, no control over infrastructure components, no private networking, etc. So on the internet by design.
So that's
why they call it public edition.
Okay, that would be my question. So this is public. And maybe is RISE and GROW for every company, or is there a limitation of size? Which how can I choose from these programs, or what's the criteria of chosen by SAP to get into such programs?
Well, of course, there's certain direction and desire by SAP, but there's also certain market truth. And RISE is like an intermediate step usually, where you are a existing customer, you're running ERP for a very long time, and it's not possible for you to move to GROW immediately. So you can keep what you had today and do only small steps towards the future. That's where RISE fits very well to you. But if you're a completely new customer, new to the SAP ecosystem, and you're not a gigantic multinational that requires global footprint for hundreds of subsidiaries, then GROW at its current state is often a good fit. So that's how you can look at this. But of course, there may be different opinions also when you talk to SAP, and also where they want to be in the future of GROW.
Okay. So, and that means when we have a look at the, so we already talked about, so we have ECC or R3, which is mainly legacy. Then just for an understanding, is it possible to migrate from ECC to RISE or to GROW with ease? From your explanation, it's only possible that you then, when you have a legacy system like ECC, then you can only choose RISE. Is that correct?
Well, at least that's how it's designed as your next step. Of course, if you are willing to sacrifice certain things that are highly customized, or maybe there's certain subcomponents that you want to carve out, that's an option. But typically, when we discuss ECC modernization, it's a RISE conversation more often than a GROW conversation.
Okay, so when we see private, public, then from the past, we know there are some protocols we can use to integrate SAP systems. So I will choose another color here, so maybe green. So then I will point some protocols here. So there's RFC. I think every SAP integration developer knows RFC. Then we have BAPI calls. Then we have SOAP. It comes to web services. We can use HTTPS to connect to an SAP system, or in the newly we can also use ODATA. So I think this is mainly the protocols or the transport protocols we can use to connect to an SAP system. For the new systems, so when we are talking about RISE and GROW, do we have the same capabilities as we are having from legacy integration, or do we need to change our minds to fulfill the business processes or meet the business processes in the future here?
Well, there's some, of course, technical changes, and when we talk public internet and what we can support then. When we take GROW as our pivotal point now, SAP needed to come up with solutions for B2P integrations requiring legacy interfaces, but still have the need to move it into internet facing or into a manner that actually can sustain or can survive on the internet, which needs to be secure. And we see that happening where they move legacy interfaces to the modern world. Let's say in the past you had only options to create business partners through RFCs. Then they moved on to creating ODATA APIs for these. So there's always a mix of like tens of thousands of interfaces you had in the past, and a certain subset of them migrated already either to SOAP or to ODATA at some point. So the challenge for the integration developer is to verify when the customer says, I have this use case and I have done this before with this interface, to figure out if there's a different way of doing it today. And in GROW, RFCs and BAPIs they were done in the old days are no longer available, just because they would require TCP IP connections that you cannot have in the SaaS world.
Okay, that means RFC and BAPI is out for GROW, and you can also and you only can use SOAP, HTTPS, or OData to connect to a GROW system.
Correct.
Okay.
But I mentioned before, RFC and BAPI haven't migrated fully to the new ways. There's still RFCs and BAPIs out there that didn't make its way over there. That means SAP came up with ways of bringing those older ones to the new world through the new way that they released, I think, 3 years ago, which are called WebSockets. APIs based on WebSockets.
Okay. So maybe we can. I will make it this way.
And the primary reason is it's not possible to redevelop all interfaces towards OData, or it's at least a big task. So this is a way for the transition period, so to say.
Okay, understood. So I marked it different in our picture. So
yes.
Okay, so I think for ECC, you can do all of this. Is it correct, or is it a fail when it comes to OData?
Well, it may happen to you depending on which version you are on ECC. Because these days you can also front it with the SAP Gateway component, which brings the ODATA server, and then put it in front of your RFCs and BAPIs if you like, or you already have it embedded. So it depends on the version.
Okay.
But OData can be a problem for you, yes.
Okay, so then I will hopefully it's clear after recording, and then HTTPS, and I will mark this as a different color here. So it is possible, but you need to be on the latest version, and you also need to have this a gateway in place that proxy the OData services. Okay, so and that means with RISE you can do all of these, or are there some recommendations to use? So I think this is also very important to know.
Well, RISE is the most flexible one here for sure, because you have the flexibility you had before in ECC, but you're still profiting from the managed service environment. But of course, SAP would encourage you to adopt ways that ditch the legacy protocols. So using less of those as possible, the RFCs and BAPIs.
Okay, so it is possible, but it's not do things both. So So this is the recommendation, but you can use RFC and BAPI. So this is, I think, what the result of it, right? So
Yes.
it's possible, but it's not the best way that SAP is supposed right now.
Well, you make it harder for you to move to the next stage, right? So if you take dependency on things that are not in line with the API update strategy, you will struggle once you try to get to the next stage on the S4 line and towards GROW and fully managed capabilities in RISE.
Okay, so that means RFC and BAPI is available, but SAP will not invest anymore in those technologies, right? So you need to make the step to SOAP, HTTPS, or ODATA to be on the safe way that SAP is supporting this in the future.
Exactly, yeah. And you also see this in the SDKs and platform integration investments they are making in their ecosystem.
Okay.
Everything over there is targeted at ODATA.
Okay. Yeah, I think that looks good. And these are the capabilities you can do to integrate the ERP. So that means S4 or ECC. But the SAP world is even more bigger, and we will talk about in future episodes of this how to integrate SuccessFactors, Ariba, Concur, and so on. I think for now it's fine to have an overview of the SAP world right now and in the near future. Thank you, Martin, for being our guest at this show, and see you soon in one of the next episodes.
Till next time.
Bye.